So now let me give you the quick demo what we're going to build at the end of this video. So you just need to enter the mobile number here. It will automatically pull the customer name and addresses and their previous balances. Right now we have 0. Now you just need to enter the product code here. It will automatically pull the item name and their rate. You just need to enter the quantity. It will become their total based on rate and quantity. The same way you can enter the product code and quantity. Now it will become the total here, and the previous balance is 0, so the grand total becomes the same amount. And whatever the amount we pay, like let's say I have paid 8,000 and the remaining balance is 50. So once we click save and print, it will generate the PDF based on the informations. Now here you could see 8,000 and remaining balance is 50 in the PDF as well, and the invoice number here you could see it with all the details. Now let's cut this and go back to the customer table. Now here you could also see the remaining balances gets updated. Now come back to the invoice, and when we click on the clear, it will clear all the informations and generates the next invoice number. When we will enter again their information, it will pull their name informations and also their previous balance. Now this time is 50 because they have the balance 50, the remaining balance. We also keep the record of invoice in this table. So here, if you see the invoice number, name, addresses, and the date when this is generated, and the link of the PDF that we generated. So in any time future, you can come here and get this PDF again. And we keep the hard copy of that PDF into the same, like in the folders. So this invoice system we are going to build in this video. I have given a lot of hard work to make this video. Hope you'll enjoy. Watch this video till the very end and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Hello guys, it's me Tarique Akhtar Ansari. So the first thing we will do here is we will design invoice page. So let's rename it as invoice. The second thing we will do here is we want to see the print area so that we could do the designing within that print area. So go to the view, deselect the normal and reselect it again. So here you could see the imaginary line. So this is tell us that this is the page size. So we need to keep the designing between these. So this is a print area. Just press Ctrl P. So this is a print area and select page A4. So automatically your imaginary print area line will be get adjusted. Now try to keep the design between this. So now let's first select from A to F and go back to home, merge center, and we'll give the name here as Global Electronics and Accessories. Let's make it as 14, bold, background this color, perfect. Now again let's take this line, merge center, and here I'll give address as plant site Rourkela 769001. Then I'll select three things for customer name, address and mobile number. This time I'll do merge and across. First I'll use for customer name, I'll use for address, I'll use for mobile number. Let's reselect these three, make it bold. Now I will, for entering the name, let's do merge and across for these two cells for three rows again. Yeah, so I'll enter the detail here. And this will I'll use for the date and the below I'll use for invoice. Perfect. Let's select these two again and make it bold. Now I'll leave one row and here I'll start serial number, code, items. I'll enter the item's name there, rate, quantity, and final amount. Let's select this and the background color will be this, bold and center. Now let's select from here to till 42 for entering the item detail. So I'm going to give outside border and here I will again I'll select 5 merge across. This I'll use for total, previous, grand total, balance. I want to give different color to this. So let's select it, outside border, this color. Amount paid. Okay, I missed one thing, which is amount paid, and the last one will be balance. Now let's do a little bit of adjustment. So now you could see my design is within the imaginary line, so there will be no effect on the print area. Let's select one by one all the column and make it outside border. Now let's check, make Control P and see the design. Okay, designs look good. So the next thing what we are trying to do here is we will just enter the mobile number of the user and we want to pull the automatically their information, their name, addresses and their previous balances from customer table. So let's create a customer table. Let's rename it as customer mobile number, name, address, balance. So this will show the previous balance. Let's make it as table. So sheet and table, two different things are. So go to insert and click on table and make sure check that my table has headers. So now it's become the table. Now here you could see the table tab, it automatically gets enabled. Perfect. Now let's rename the table. So this name we are going to use while we will do the coding. So here I'm giving the customer as table name. So make sure this name and this table name is two different things. Now here we want to enter the mobile number, enter, and automatically we want to pull their name and addresses and their previous balances from that table. So using the Vlookup, we will do that. Make sure that this is left aligned. So equal to Vlookup. So we want to look to this column, this cell C5. We want to pull the value, lookup value from this column. The table name is customer and now pass the index. So name is stored in the second column. So that's why we'll give the second to. Okay, we are getting NA because there is no customer record. So let's quickly make few entries here. So I just made two entry for now. Let's come back here again. So now here you could see the name. So if you remember guys, if there is no value or if there is any mistake entry here, we are going to get NA. So if we want to get rid of this issue, let's apply if error formula. If error, if this value has error, we want to show nothing. So the blank. That's all. Hit enter. So it is applied. Now the same formula we want to apply to the, let's select it, cut this, select this one. Let's paste here. But this time we want to pull this address from column 3. As I said, the address is on column 3. Now let's first make the right entry. Perfect. Here you could see. So remember that this is column 1, column 2, 3 and 4. In the same way, we want to get the previous balance from the customer table. But this time we want to pull this information from column 4. Perfect. 0. This is done. Now we want to just format a little bit. So I want these from here to till here. This should be formatted as currency. And here I'm selecting the symbol as Indian rupees. Perfect. Now here you could see previous balance is 0. So now in the same way, we want to pull the information for the product. So we just want to enter the product code here and we want to pull their product name and rate from the product table. So let's quickly create a product table. So this is a sheet. Let's rename it as product. So this is a sheet name. Now let's give code product name rate. Remember guys, this will be the selling price, not the purchase price. Okay. Now let's convert this into the table, go to insert, click on table, select this one and click OK. So this becomes the table. Now let's make quickly 4 5 entries here. So I made these 7 entries here with all the product has a unique product code. So remember guys, so you can create all the product with their unique code. So it will be very easy to fetch their informations in that. So you can label all the product with a unique code number. So instead of remembering their full name, you just need to remember their code, and creating a bill will be very fast. So now this table is ready. Let's come back here and apply the VLOOKUP in the same way like we applied here. So let's copy the VLOOKUP formula from here. Select this one, paste here, Control V, and now change this to product. Okay, we haven't. Okay, so we haven't given the product table has a name. So let's go to the design table. Let's name it as product table. So this time you could remember that this too has a different name. Now let's come back here again. Let's select this. Come here. Now let's change this name to product table. See here. Now the column 2. We want to get the name, we'll get the name from the column 2. That's all. Just in Ubon Note 7. Okay, so why we are getting Ubon Note 7? Because C5, we are looking to C5, not C5. Instead of C5, we want to look from B8. 8. Perfect. Now it has nothing, but if I enter 101, see this, it's automatically pulling the Samsung charger. Now in the same way, let's do for the rate. Cut this, come here, paste here, change this to 2 to 3. Perfect, we are pulling this. Now let's format this sale, this complete sale from here till here as rupees. Right click, format, currency, rupees. Okay, then now let's drag this till here. Now let's reselect, no borders, outside borders. Perfect. The same way, let's do for this outside border. Perfect. Now let's apply. Let's see, is it working or not? 105, Ubuntu headphone, their price. We pull that from that table. 103. Let's match it from this product table. Are we getting from Ubuntu 75? Yeah, perfect. Apple 11 character. Apple 11 connector 75 rupees. Perfect. So we're getting it. Now we just need to put the quantity and we want to calculate the amount automatically. So let's do the formula again here. So we want th this column into this quantity. Hit enter. Automatically it will fill the information. If I enter 10 piece, 1100. Perfect. So now let's this apply till the last. Now here also we are getting the value error. If there is nothing, we are getting the value error. So we need to apply the same formula again. So let's first apply the same formula. If error, if this has error, show nothing. Just close this bracket. Perfect. Now let's drag this till the very last. Now this is ready. Let's try again. 107. Perfect. Let's apply the quantity. 10 piece. So you know there. Last 5 piece. 1 piece. And we want to see the total here. So here we'll apply the formula equal to sum of from here to here. Just select this much of row, so it's automatically get their column index. Perfect. So it is sum. Now if we have previous balance, then we want the grand total here, so equal to sum. We could say that sum of these two. Now amount paid, leave it, and we want to do the minus. So grand total minus this equal to the remaining balance. So this minus this. Done. If I paid 4,000, what will be the remaining balance? 775. Perfect. We don't have any previous balance. If customer has previous balance, let's take an example. I'm giving previous balance. We have rupees 100. See that it's automatically pulling previous balance and did the calculations. The grand total is gets increased by rupees 100 and we paid 4,000. So remaining balance is 475. So this is ready now. Now we left with this date. So let's select today formula of Excel. So it will automatically pull the date. Now this invoice we will do from the code. Now the last thing left here is the serial number. If you want to generate the automatically, so let's apply one formula here, the row. It will tell you the row number. So it is 8, but we want start from 1. So let's make it -7. Okay. Now if we drag, it will automatically will apply to all and it doesn't care like we have product or not. But we want the serial number if we have the code next to it. So what we will do, if formula we will apply, if C7 not equal to blank, then true value, otherwise this will be happen. Let's drag here to till the last order. Perfect. Now let's have a quick preview on print. So this is how it will look when we will try to print this bill. So this is looking fine. Now we are done with the designing. Now we are done with the designing. The next I want to create a button here. On click of that button, I want to clear this bill and generate an invoice number for the next bill. So for doing that, we need to enable the developer mode. There we could write the logic for like we will write the code there on VBA. So as I said, like Excel is a very powerful tool. It gives you options to write code on VBA. So let's quickly enable the developer tab. For that, we need to click on file. Remember this step, file, then options, then click on customize ribbon and then click on developer option here and click on OK. Now here you could see developer preview mode is enabled. Next, what I want to do here is click on insert, click here. Now design the button. So I choose the button option and now I'm designing here. Now cancel this for now. Let's write the name as clear. Now inside this, I will write the logic. So for writing the logic, we need to click on Visual Basic, click on Developer tab, then click on Visual Basic here. It will open this project area. Now here we need to create a module. So inside this, we'll create a sub procedure. So sub and give a name like clear and generate invoice number. Okay. Now inside this, I want to clear first. Okay. Now let me tell you how we will do the clear. If we clear the mobile number, like let's take, if we remove the mobile number, automatically name, address and their previous balance will be removed. In the same way, if we remove the code, automatically their item, name and rate will be removed. So let's take an example. If we remove these values, this will be removed. We just need to remove the quantity because this is entered manually. So what are the things we need to remove? We need to remove C5. Not only C5, C5 to D5 because we must C5 and D5 for mobile number. So we need to clear this cell, these two cell. Then we need to clear the cell from here till here. Remember from B8 to B42 and we need to clear this quantity. We don't need to clear this total because automatically if there is no amount, this will be 0. This will be cleared out and previous balance will already be removed. If you remove the mobile number, automatically previous balance will be not here. In the same way, grand total will be removed. We just need to remove this amount. So if you remember the cell like C5, D5, we need to remove this first cell. Then we need to remove this cell informations. Automatically serial number will also be removed and quantity and this much of cell. Okay, let's come back here and remember the name of the sheet. So invoice is on sheet 1. Invoice is just a name that we see inside the Excel file, but actual name that we use in the coding, we use like sheet 1. So let's write the logic. Sheet 1 dot range. The range that we want to select is this range, C1 to CD5. I want to clear for the mobile number, and this will clear the B8 to B42. It will clear the code, and this is F46. This is for F46. This is for, see this one, F46 for the total. And finally, E8 to E42. If you remember, this we used for like quantity. We want to clear it. Now just apply the dot, clear contents. That's all. That's enough. Now let's make it side by side so we could see if what will happen. If we run this, what will happen? See this? So my bills get clear. Previous balance is also clear. Now if we want to write it again, we need to write it. Just let's make sure. Now, one thing I wanted to highlight here, guys, never do the clear of this cell, because this cell has a formula. If you do the clear, you need to write this formula again. So like in the last part of the video, I will show you how to make this cell lock so no one can accidentally modify these cells. Okay. Now let's apply this on button click. So right click on the button, assign macro, and click on this macro. Clear and generate invoice number. Perfect. Just click on OK. Now this is get applied. If you click this one, it is going to be cleared. Let's see again. It has all the information. If you click it, it will make it clear. So now let's generate the invoice number here. But this is dependent on one more table, which is record of invoice, where we want to store the customer informations like invoice number, date, mobile number, their name, and the total amount, and also the PDF URL in that sheet. So let's quickly create that. So click on plus. In this sheet, let's rename it as record of invoice, invoice, customer name, address, mobile number, amount, bill amount, date, invoice URL. That's all. Let's convert this into the table. Select this, go to insert, click on table, and click on this. My table has header. Okay, now this is converted into invoice. Let's give a name to this table. So instead of table 3, let's name it record of invoice. So we will refer this table from this name. So let's generate the invoice number now. That is dependent on this table. So we want to get the reference of this table inside the VBA. So that is the first thing we are going to do. And then we will find the number of rows inside this table. So right now there is no rows. So if we try to get the count, we'll get 0. So let's do that quickly here. So I need two variables. First one is to store the reference of invoice table as list object. Second variable I need here as row count as long. The type will be long. Now let's set the reference of this table inside this invoice table. Set invoice table. And remember guys, this is sheet 4. So this is the name of the sheet. So that name we use inside the program. And record of invoice is just a name that we see inside the Excel. Okay. So let's use sheet 4 dot list objects. And here we need to pass the name of the table. So record of invoice. Just copy this name from here, paste it. That's all for getting the reference. Now let's count the row. Equal to invoice table dot list rows dot count. Perfect. So we'll get the count inside this variable. Remember guys, here we use the set key here to set the reference, but we don't use here when we want to get like the value inside the variable. Perfect. Now let's do the format, and we want to store this invoice number, the generated invoice number on F4 cell. Okay. So let's get the reference of F4 cell first. Sheet1 dot range, and here we need to pass F4 dot value that we want to update equal to, we want to do the format. We have one function format. Here we want to pass the value which is row count. And now how we want to format? We want to format in 4 zeros. Okay. But we also want to append something, ge hyphen and this. So this will be prepend with the this value. So actually we want to generate the invoice code something like this, ge hyphen 001 initially, and then we will keep on incrementing. But this will start from, so right now the row count will be 0 because there is nothing in this table. Okay. So if we try to get the row count, it will get 0. But we want to start from 1. So let's do either +1 here or here 1. Let's do +1 here. This macros, let's save this. Come back here because it is already assigned to this button, the macros. So now if we click here, now here you could see the invoice number gets generated. So once we enter the data in first row, it will give you the invoice number 000 second one. Perfect. So this is the way we generate the invoice number. Now let's create one more sub procedure that will use sub for save and print. So inside this, I'll declare all the variables. So what are the informations we want to capture from here, which is name, address, mobile number, date, invoice, total amount, and we will store everything here like invoice number, customer name, address, mobile number, the amount of the bill and the date. And later on, we will create how to store the invoice URL here. So we'll do this one by one. So let's do one by one quickly here. Dim customer name as a string, dim address as a string, dim mobile number as, let's take as a string for now. So we have taken these three variables. Now let's declare dim billing date as date, dim invoice number as a string. Okay. Now let's take dim amount as currency. I think that's all for now. Now let's store all the values here from the sheet one. So this is sheet one. So let's store in customer name from sheet one, sorry, sheet one dot range. So it will be from the sale from C3. C3. We could also write dot value, but this is also sufficient. In the same way, we will store all the informations like from C4 we will get address, mobile number from sheet 1 dot range 5, billing date from sheet 1 dot range, and it will be F3. So we'll get this billing date from here. Perfect. F3. Now let's do invoice number from sheet 1 dot range, and it will be F4. So we get all the informations. Let's store inside the this table. So storing that, first we need to capture the reference of this table like we did here. So first let's define this invoice table variable. Let's define here, and now let's store the reference here. So we already did, that's why I'm just copying the code from here. Now let's, so we get the reference of this. Now we need one more variable actually to store the reference of the row that we will add. So new row as list row. Perfect. Now set the reference of new row equal to invoice table dot list rows dot add. So we'll get the reference here. Now let's add all the values inside the new rows that we capture here. Okay. So how we will do that? New row dot range dot cells. And here we need to pass 1 comma 1 dot value. So what is the cell 1 represents? Invoice number. So let's pass invoice number here. In the same way we'll do for others. Like let's do the copy paste. Control V. On column 2 we want to store customer names. See here. So let's copy the customer name from here. Paste here. Let's keep doing same for others as well. So that's enough for now to store the information. Let's run it and check. So before that, let's give one information like generate a bill for one user. I entered all the details. I'm getting all the informations here. And let's put quickly at least two item here. 10 piece. Let's come here. 103. 10 piece. Okay. We got the bill. Let's pay the amount like 8,000. We haven't written the logic for remaining balance that we want to store inside the customer table, but let's see, will it work or we are going to get any error. So this runs successfully. Now let's check, did we get the information here? Yes, but the amount we get it as 0. So let's quickly fix this issue. Why we get the amount 0? It should be 8,250. So let's quickly check the amount that we get it. Did we get it the amount? No. Actually, we haven't given the amount informations here. So let's give for the amount here. Amount equal to same as sheet 1 dot range, and let's find the cell number of amount, which is F43. Now let's quickly delete this record again, or let's generate a new one. Let's keep it. So we will see, let's clear it. So now here you could see invoice number 2 is generated. Now let's give another user mobile number. So we get the informations. I want to buy one piece, 105, 10 piece. Let's pay the bill, 1500. Okay, 250 is the remaining balance. Previous balance we have 0. Now let's run this and check, do we have any issue? Let's come here. Now we are getting, so everything is working fine now. Now let's quickly write the logic to store the remaining balance inside the customer table. So first we need to grab this balance from here. So let's write the logic to deem remaining balance as currency, right? Now let's store remaining balance from sheet 1 dot range. It will be F47. We get the balance. Now let's write the logic. First we need to get the reference of this table, and then we write the logic to find the customer row to which we can update. So let's first define the customer table as list object. Now after this we want to get to store inside the customer table from sheet 3 dot, actually this customer table is sheet 3, so sheet 3 dot list objects, and here we need to pass the name of this table, which is customer. You can copy the name if you are not sure from here. Okay. So we got this. Now let's run the for loop and try to match the mobile number, this mobile number, so that we could get the particular row which we want to update. For that, we need to run the for loop for each row in customer table dot list rows. Perfect. Next row, so that it will keep running the for loop. Now we need to write the logic inside of it. So we'll get one row at a time. Now we need to check if row dot range dot cells one of one, because the mobile number is here in column 1, dot value equal to mobile number. Then let's do and if first. Now we need to write here. So we match that. Now once we match that, it means we found the matching row. Now let's store in some variable. So we need one more variable like dim found row as list row. And let's set this found row initially equal to nothing. Let's type set as well. Perfect. Now if we found it, we need to set found row again with this row, the matching row. Perfect. Now we write the logic. Now if found row not equal to nothing means, then let's write and if first, and inside of it, so it means it's not matching with nothing. It means we have the value inside the found row. Now let's update the cell found range dot cells 1 comma 4. So this is balances column 4, 1 2 3 4. Okay, dot value equal to remaining balance, remaining that we grab from this cell. Okay, now let's quickly check that did we write it correctly. So let's run it. Let's first clear it. We generate the third row again. Let's type 827094845. Let's 105. Okay, 10105 and 10 piece 104, 104, 2 piece. Perfect. Now let's type 1000 we paid. So the remaining balance is 430. Now let's run this and check invalid use of property. Okay, we need to write set here as well. Now let's run it again. Invalid use of property, nothing is. Okay, now let's run it. So this is working. So actually I made a mistake here. So it will be if not row is nothing. So we are writing in opposite way. Okay, so let's see this. So 430 balance is updated. Now we are getting the previous one. Just clear it. Do we have previous balance? No. We have purchased this product. Just think as in like without paying anything. Now let's run this again. So now let's clear it and come to the customer. We see 750 is updated. That's fine. Let's come to the record of invoice. Here we could see on the date of this, we purchased this without paying a single rupee. So this is working. Now let's quickly create a button and assign this macro. So go to developer, insert button, Let's design here button, cancel it here. Let's change the name, save and print. Click outside, right click here, assign macros, save and print this one. Okay, now this will work. If you want to confirm it, you can confirm it, but I'm 100% sure this will work. Now the only thing is left with how we could save this information inside, like how we could print the PDF and save that PDF URL here so that we could open that in future. Now let's quickly write the logic to export the PDF of this invoice and store their URL inside the record of invoice. So first we need two variables, the path as string, the f name, file name as string. So our path will be this workbook dot path. Okay, so this will give you the current path, and we also want to store inside the slash invoices. So slash invoices. So make sure that this folder is there inside this workbook path. So my this workbook is inside this folder and I have this folder. So if you don't have, then you may will get some issues. Okay. Now we have this. So we have defined the path perfectly. The slash will be this slash backslash, not forward slash. Okay. So I have given the path. Now let's quickly define the f name. We wanted our name like this. Okay. So invoice in double quoted, and we want to give an hyphen, then invoice number, then hyphen, then customer name. So this will be my file name. Fine. Now let's quickly export the workbook. So we want to export sheet 1 dot export format type colon equal to, then next will be file name colon equal to path and f name. Now let's go to ignore. Let's make it a little big so everyone could see here. Ignore print areas colon equal to false. Don't ignore the print areas that we defined in starting. The last thing, open after publish true. So that's all we have written here. So this will work. Let's quickly try it. Are we able to export the PDF? Let's run it. Yep, it is working fine. Now here you could see this is blank because we haven't written anything here. Now the only thing is left. So we already have the reference of the new row, if you remember, new row dot range dot cells, and we want to get 1 comma 7. So okay, and let's define one more variable. Let's define here dim as hyperlink cell as range. Let's store that here. Set hyperlink cell. Perfect. Okay. Now let me quickly explain that to you guys. This is the column number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we get the cell here. Now in this h cell dot hyperlinks dot add space, we need to define here h cell comma a string that we want to make hyperlink, so that is path and f name, and also I want to give dot pdf, so it will be correct. That is that much done. So we are done here. Now let's quickly check is it working or not. I have run this. It's generated a PDF. I generated the blank PDF now. Let's cut it and let's go to the record and check. Oh, perfect. So now we have generated the PDF as well. Now let's click this PDF and it is opening that PDF or not. Yes, it is opening. Now let's quickly confirm that inside the folder. Do we have the PDF? Yes, here we have the PDF. So this is done, guys. We are done with the our project. Thank you so much for your time and patience. Let's quickly verify that before ending this video. We got the informations, we got the previous balance. Let's add something. 103, 10 piece, 105, 10 piece, 107, 1 piece. So we got the bill of 2600, total bill is 2400. Let's pay 2400 and the remaining balance is 90. Let's print the bill. Okay. Okay, we made a mistake here. So the remaining balance is coming here 90 because we store that first and then we generate the PDF. So due to that, this is happening. So just to solve that issue, let's update the remaining balance just after the we generate the PDF. So let's go here and do this. Save this. Now let's go to here and we have the remaining balance now for 10,000. Let's save and print. Now here you could see the remaining balance is 10,000. Now if you check the sheet, it gets updated because it's added the remaining balance. So now it's become 12,000. If we clear, so it will generate the new invoice number. So this is working completely fine.